Hey everybody, welcome to Chapter 5. We are on Lesson 1 today. This is Introduction to Systems of Equations. So we're going to go over a few vocabulary words and then we're going to get started on this lesson. So our vocab word is system of equations, all right, and this involves two or more equations, all right, and this will make more sense as we go along. Solutions of systems are ordered pairs, okay, where the graphs of the equation intersect. So that's what you need to remember. Each solution must make all of the equations in the system true. If the ordered pair does not work for both equations, it is not a solution. So for example, with one equation, every point on the line makes the equation true, right? So there are different ordered pairs on here that work for this equation. It makes them true, okay? But when we have two or more equations, only the points of intersection make both equations true, right? So for example, right here, see where this arrow is pointing? This is our intersection. And then on this one, we've got 2 points of intersection, right? So those are going to be the ordered pairs that are our solutions. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do before we learn how to do anything else is just make sure we remember how to solve for y. The reason that we solve for y is to find the slope or the rate of change and the y-intercept or our initial value. Another reason that we solve for y is because once we find our y, we can graph this in the calculator and see what we're working with. So let's go ahead and solve b and c for y. So first things first, we're going to add 3x to both sides. Remember, we're doing our order of operations here backwards. We have 7y equals 3x plus 8. And we divide by 7. The best way for me to keep all of my fractions in line is just to divide each individual part instead of just doing this whole right side by 7. So then we have y equals 3 over 7x because we can't divide that. And then we also can't divide 8 by 7, so we are going to leave both of those as fraction forms. And that is our answer right here. Now let's solve c for y. So we're going to start by subtracting x from both sides. We're left with negative y equals negative x plus 2. And although this y is the only part over here, this negative is preventing it from being finished. So we need to go ahead and get rid of that negative. We can do so by dividing by negative 1. And then we get y equals x minus 2. That was a plus. It's kind of hard to tell. So when we divide by that negative 1, it just flips the sign of everything else. Okay. It says to determine algebraically if an ordered pair is a solution to a system of equations. So now we're going to plug in these ordered pairs and see if it makes both of these equations true. So in order for A, this ordered pair to be true, it would need to make both equations equal. So let's see if it does. So we've got, remember our ordered pairs, excuse me, are written as x, y. So this is x, this is y. So we have 2 times 7 minus 3 times 6 equals negative 4. We get 14 minus 18 equals negative 4. We get negative 4 equals negative 4. So this looks good. This one is going to work. But we don't know if it's going to work for our second equation. So let's plug that one in. So we've got 2 times 7 plus 6 equals 4. We get 14 plus 6 equals 4, which gives us 20 equals 4. So that is not true. This is not a solution. Okay, and then, so A is done. This is not a solution. So let's try B. So for our first one, we have 2 times 1 minus 3 times 2 equals negative 4. That gives us 2 minus 6 equals negative 4. And then we get negative 4 equals negative 4. Looking good so far? All right, and our last one is 2 times 1 plus 2 equals 4, which gives us 2 plus 2 equals 4, which is 4 equals 4. So once again, we have a match, which means we have a solution. See how that works? If it works equals out on both equations, this ordered pair is a solution. But here where it only made a solution on one, this is not a solution. It has to work for both equations in the system. Now we're going to learn method 1, which is how to actually find the solution, right? And we're going to do this by graphing. So before we can graph and put this in our calculator, we need to solve both equations for y. So let me make it a little bit smaller. Sorry for the change in screen. I needed to pull up a calculator, and it won't let me have a full screen. So we have 5x plus y equals 4, and then we're going to solve for y, right? So we're going to subtract 5x, and we get y equals negative 5x plus 4. Right? And then we have x minus y equals 2. We're going to subtract x from both sides, and we get negative y equals negative x plus 2. We're going to divide by negative 1 to get rid of that negative sign. And we get y equals x minus 2. Alright, so now that we've got this part done, we can go ahead and move over to the calculator. So, we're going to put this in our calculator to find a solution. So we've got y equals, you go to y equals, and you type in your equations, which I've already done here, into our y equals plot. So we've got negative 5x plus 4 and x minus 2, right, which are the exact equations that we just solved y for. So remember to use the x symbol right here next to the alpha key for any of your variables, right? So now that we've got those typed in the calculator, we're going to hit graph, right? And we're doing pretty well. Our graph looks just like the chart on the screen. So once we get to this spot, we're going to hit second, which is this blue button right here, second, trace, right here before the graphing symbol. And we're going to scroll all the way down to intersect. And I know a lot of you at home are using the Calculate 84 app. You probably don't have the physical calculator, and that is totally fine. The Calculate 84 app is great, and that's actually what we recommend you guys are using at home. But there are a few different things. So up until this point, all of the steps are the same, whether you have a calculator or you have the app on your phone. So we go to all the way down to intersect. You can hit 5, you can hit enter, either one. And what it does is create this cursor that you can move using these arrows, left and right arrows. And you want to move that to the point of intersection. So that looks about right. And once you get there, you're going to hit enter, enter, enter. And you get this intersection, x equals 1, y equals negative 1. Oh, hold on, I'm kind of messing with the focus here. There we go. So, one thing that is different when you have the app on your phone, you're not going to hit enter, enter, enter 3 times. You're just going to look for the point where it says intersection by scrolling your arrows back and forth, you'll find the intersection and it'll tell you at the bottom of the screen. So if you have any questions about the app, if you're having difficulties using the Calculate 84 app to find the intersection, just message one of your teachers. We'll be glad to help you. So that is it for this lesson. We just need to write our solutions down here. So we found our solution, which we write as an ordered pair, and it was 1, -1. Okay? Like I said, if you guys have any questions about the Calculate 84 app or just this lesson in general, please reach out to one of your teachers. Y'all have a great day.